reason I say interesting performance is he had like he pulled his back in the middle of one of his fights. Someone came out and had to massage him in the middle of the match, and then he went back in and won. It was crazy.
Yeah, he's very good. Been around a while. He's a very good close guard.
Incredible close guard.
Yes,
incredible. And I'm actually, you know, it's interesting seeing him in the middle at pants. He moved up to medium heavy, and it's always seemed to me like he's a medium heavy. That guy is so tall, so strong, and I'm surprised to see him back at middle, to be honest. I thought he looked great at medium heavy, but, you know, he's been at middle for the majority of his black belt titles, so not out of the ordinary. Just took a break for pans of cutting, I suppose.
Yeah, maybe coming back.
Yeah, so we haven't seen him too much during the last few years, but obviously not having any issues getting back in the swing of things. This guy's a seasoned competitor, black belt world champion, so just does a great job with his right shin of framing so much that Silva cannot really come to the left side. Even though he has that strong grip on the pants with his right hand, he should technically be able to start elevating the hips of Canuto and start moving side to side. But with that right shin on the shoulder, it really stops a lot of that pressure. Yeah, you can see Silva trying to elevate the hips of Canuto. Silva in the blue on top. But Jaime's just able to keep his hips stapled down. And it's tiring for the person on top.
Yeah, because that knee is a big problem for Silva at the moment. I mean, he could pass that a right if he can get the leg up there. He's trying to elevate again, as you mentioned, but yeah, just didn't have all the grips he needed to tip him over.
Yeah, so about 8:30 left in the match. We got Jaime Canuto and the white on the bottom. About, you know, pretty even so far, no big movements, but that De La Riva could turn into a deep De La Riva very quickly, and so we see Silva in this squatted position, really respecting that leg. He knows he can get tilted and off balanced, but he has to be careful not to squat back too far because then you start falling backwards.
That's right.
So it's definitely a big game of balance here, which you see Jaime utilizing by flipping him over and pulling him into a beautiful close guard, which, like you mentioned earlier, is usually where he wants to be.
Yeah,
especially with his muscle sweep sequences we're seeing. Wow. Ooh, almost in the splits here. A lot of power on those muscle sweeps.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of some problems here. You could go triangle, omoplata, all these things. See that left hand posted behind him. He's got to watch the triangle attack of Canuto. If he puts a little weight in, that weight goes into that left hand. He could zap that right leg over. He's a little far away, but that's why the battle there of that right elbow for Silva is very important. Now he's going to abandon that.
Yeah, beautiful job by Silva keeping that right elbow so tight and just enough out of danger. But that sleeve grip is very frustrating on the left-hand side. He needed that hand to push down on the knee to open the guard. But now he's opened the guard with two hands on the belt and kind of backed up to create some space. And we're back in the same position we were in a couple minutes ago. And nothing on the board yet, but I mean, I think it's pretty clear that Jaime's been in control of this fight so far with those big muscle sweep attempts, knocking Silva to post his hand, forcing him to post his hand on the mat. Not enough for an advantage or anything like that, but just a little bit of an edge. Oh, nice. Beautiful ankle sweep. Almost coming up, but now Silva attacking the leg, and Jaime will settle into this top position. Not quite into a leg drag, but oh, yes, we are. We are in a leg drag. So I thought that Canuto's right foot was in between the legs.
Leg in the middle, yeah.
But the key here is when you're coming up on those turtle transitions, that right foot behind Silva's shin is the key to making it a leg drag and not a knee bar attempt. Because if your foot gets stuck in the middle, it can be really dangerous there. The person can go into a knee bar or a toe hold grip and get kind of twisty. So Jaime doing a great job of readjusting his foot, bringing it out to the outside. Now he can drop his knee over the hamstring of Silva. If he can drive his knee to the ground to keep his hips elevated, then he'll be able to slide into side control on the left, or obviously if Silva turtles, then he looks to the back as well. That's kind of the goal here. But Jaime doing a great job controlling the grip with the left hand so that Silva can't turtle all the way. Right, so he's kind of holding him there, squashed on his upper back, which is what he wants.
Yeah, this right arm, he's getting under on the leg now. I think he could pull himself in and thread that left leg underneath there. That right arm for Canuto is a big deal right now.
Yes.
He's trying to keep that collar at bay, to try to keep an underhook. He might be pulling the leg in now.
Leg is almost in. What's interesting is he has an underhook on the leg, but Jaime's like still on the right side, and now he's able to be patient enough to stay heavy on the hips, bring his first hook in. And this is going to be very interesting to see how they reset, because a lot of times when people go out of bounds in a turtle transition, they will restart you on the feet. And it looks like they are going to give a penalty for fleeing the mat and 2 points, which is difficult, right? Because in my opinion, it did look like Silva was rolling the correct way to escape from the back.
I agree with you on that one. I don't think he fled. I think he was just trying to get him
rolling,
off his back.
Yep.
Yeah, trying to recover a turtle position. Didn't really have much of a choice there.
Yeah. It almost looked like it was a little bit of an exchange between, he knew that Jaime was in such a good position with 1 hook in. He was on the back. Jaime looked up, was upset about the reset, and he was like, you know what, you guys went out of bounds with 1 hook in. That's, you know, just my perception of it. Yep. And sometimes, you know, reffing is subjective. It's not an easy thing to do, and so everyone sees it a little bit differently. But it is, yeah, it is the rule. If you go out of bounds in turtle, you restart standing. So now we have Silva pulling to the bottom position, so an exchange of top-bottom position. 5 minutes left, and Jaime leading by a nice 4-point lead here. And of course, we have that penalty on the board for the flea. And this is the, let's see, we are on mat 3. So this is the elimination 2 round of the middleweight division. Next, we are going to have another elimination 2 round of the middleweight division with Tynan Dalpra and Jefferson Gorezi, which is an incredible fight coming up next here. And after that, another elimination 2 of the middleweight division with Tommy Lankaker and Matias Luna. So definitely not going to go anywhere. This is going to be a really, really exciting match to be on right now. I'm excited to see Jaime's top pressure too. He has pretty devastating passing when he's able to move side to side.
Yeah, he's trying to get down into the leg so he can start there he goes. From right to left. And good side-to-side movement, but very good patience by Silva not to overextend the legs, keep his knees tight to the chest, and reset the position.
It's one thing that's really interesting about guard players, gi versus no gi, is you see an interesting style of people who lay on their back and look for the grips versus people who play more of a seated guard and they're sitting up straight looking for grips. But you have to be able to get some good grips in when you're especially in the gi, because if you don't, then we see exactly what we're seeing right now, where someone can make these pant grips on top and start slamming your legs to the side before you even have the chance to use your hands. So really, really need to decide what guard you're going to play and set up some sort of guard instead of relying on flexibility, or, you know, sometimes we see here this inversion game, but we want to make sure that we're setting something up on bottom before we're laying back most of the time. If you have someone on top like Jaime Canuto, right? Yeah. For sure. Or we think about, you know, like kind of Duarte's passing style, or we think about Jonathan's passing style. You know, you don't want to hang out with your pants out and no grips on your hands.
Absolutely cannot afford to be losing that grip battle where both legs are dominated.
2:45 left, and Jaime doesn't need to have a whole lot of like urgency to get to the pass, but at the same time, it's a balance because Silva's going to be desperate here. He's going to start doing some crazy stuff, so Canuto's got to stay safe. He's got to stay tight, which he is by keeping some distance between him and this inversion. But now his underhook on the leg could be looking for some knee bar entries, and has the lapel wrapped around his foot, which kind of keeps Jaime attached to him. Yeah. He can't run and turn or do any explosive escapes if he needs to, so that's important to note going into some of these attacks.
See Mateus Gabriel behind them on mat 2.
Yeah, so the winner of this is going to fight the winner of Matias Luna and Tommy Langaker, which is 2 matches from now. Yeah. And then also some big names in this bracket. You know, we have Gutierrez Barbosa, who we saw earlier. We have Ronaldo de Souza, Ronaldo Jr., okay, who's going to fight Gutierrez, and they're going to be in a qualifying match. Hard to believe that's even a qualifying match, right? It's like, it's crazy. Tynan Dalpra, Jefferson Gorezi, and then on the other side, Italo Mora, Jonatas Gracie, Isaki Baenz, Jackson Nagai, just an incredible, incredible division. And these are all qualifying matches still. None of those guys are even in the quarters yet. So about 140 here, we're going to replace that. It's an interesting, you know, it's interesting with the lapels. People have like a lapel or a lasso lapel that they play. They have the squid guard that they start to play, and this is becoming increasingly popular in the last few years. So we're having a little bit of a argument or a disparity here over the reset. And like we were saying earlier, what the refs encourage you to do is to tell your partner to fix it. Hey, this is not what you had, or hey, I had this grip, or hey, hold on. Because technically, if you speak to the ref, they can choose to penalize you.
Right. Yeah, he's got the lapel fed around. He was using that inverted approach to get underneath there. Let's see if he swings back around and can get close enough to get a grip switch when he swings back around.
What Jaime could do is he could use his left hand to push that foot down and try to step over the leg. But with that beautiful pant grip by Silva, that was very, very smart, because Canuto's been backing up, creating a lot of space, which a lot of times is what you need to do with those twisty lapel games and a lot of the squid guard and the lasso lapel. So in that case, you need a lot of space. And so he even elected to give up the 50-50 bottom position because he knows he's still winning by 2 instead of driving forward into that guard, right?
Yep.
Created a lot of space, and Silva was able to use that to come up on top in the 50-50. But now this is not a favorable position for Silva, right? With 35 seconds left, trailing by 2. There's not a whole lot that's gonna go his way until he can break out of the 50-50 position, unless he's able to get some kind of submissions going. But from the top of 50-50 especially, difficult to take the back, difficult to unlock it once those lapels are involved. So about 20 seconds, looks like Canuto's gonna hold on to his lead here. And then next up, don't go anywhere, we're going to see Tynan Dalbrow on the same mat, fighting Jefferson Borrezi, which is going to be a great fight.
A dive on the foot, but
a little last minute attempt. He may get an advantage for this, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough to get the tap. And that is it, 4-2. Final score here for Jaime Canuto in the middleweight division. This will push him into the quarterfinals, where he will face the winner of Tommy Langaker and Jose Matias Luna, which we're going to see in 2 matches from now.
Yeah.
And here we have the arm raise for Jaime Canuto from GF Team. GF Team black belt, back down at middleweight. First world since 2019, of course. And we're going to see a quick replay here of some of the biggest moments of this match.